Hello and welcome to the tutorial for Zuri the Love Bat. We're going to begin by crocheting the head, so grab your dark purple yarn and your hook and let's get started. The first round has already been made for you, so gently pull it out from the center and let's take a closer look at everything. Arrange it so that this loop is on the right hand side. This is where we're going to insert our hook. We want to tighten it so it fits nicely around our hook, not too loose, not too tight. If you're confused about how to hold your yarn, there are many ways to hold it to help you keep a nice tension. You can wrap it around your pointer finger a couple times, or my favorite way is to bring it up between my pointer and middle fingers, then gently hold the loose yarn against my palm with my ring and pinky fingers. The main thing is that you feel comfortable, so don't overthink it too much. Now let's look at this first round and figure out what everything is. The first round is made out of 8 single crochets, which we'll call stitches, and the top of them are these little V's. Starting from where our hook is, that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and this stitch marker is the third. This is the second, and this is the first single crochet. So our first round is basically done. To finish every round, we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch of the round and make a slip stitch. So remove the stitch marker from the first one. Then insert your hook under both of these loops of the stitch. And when you're ready, you're going to yarn over, which means to place the yarn on top of the hook, then pull it back through the stitch. And you should now have 2 loops on your hook. To finish making the slip stitch, all you need to do is pull the first loop through the second loop on your hook. And that's our slip stitch done. Now we're going to chain 1 to get ready for the next round. To make a chain, you need to yarn over and then pull it through the loop on your hook. And that's it. And now we're ready to begin round 2. For round 2, we're going to increase in every stitch around. Increasing means making 2 single crochets in the same stitch. We're going to make the first increase in the stitch we just made a slip stitch into. So insert your hook into the same spot, then yarn over and pull it back through the stitch. You should now have 2 loops on your hook. To finish the single crochet, yarn over again and pull it through both loops on your hook. That's our first single crochet. To help you keep track of the beginning, grab your stitch marker and insert it into the single crochet that we just made. Just insert it under both loops of the little V. And now we need to make 1 more single crochet in the same stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull the loop back through the stitch, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And now we've made the first increase. We're going to repeat that 5 more times now, making an increase into every stitch. So when you're ready, remove the stitch marker from the next one and make 2 single crochets in it. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And now make another single crochet in this stitch. A little tip is to let your hook do all of the work for you. When you've made your single crochet, avoid pulling or tugging the working yarn. This is going to make the stitch really tight and it'll be harder to insert your hook into it later. Just let the hook do all of the work for you. Continue making an increase in every stitch and I'll meet you at the end. I'm going to speed this up, but you can adjust the speed in the settings below to slow it down if you need to. I just finished making my last increase. You should have made 16 single crochets, so quickly count and make sure that you didn't miss any or make any extra. If you have extra, then you may have worked into the slip stitch, which we don't want to do. We're always going to ignore the slip stitch in chain 1. We'll only be working into the single crochets. Once you're done, we're going to finish the round with a slip stitch and chain 1. So remove the stitch marker from the first single crochet, then insert your hook into that stitch and make a slip stitch. Yarn over and pull it through, then pull it through the loop on your hook. And now chain 1, yarn over and pull it through the loop on your hook. Great job, everyone. Now it's time for round 3. For this round, we're going to single crochet in the first one, increase in the next, then single crochet, then increase, repeated over and over until we reach the end. So let's go ahead and insert our hook into the first stitch where we work the slip stitch and make a single crochet. Don't forget to place your stitch marker in there so we don't lose track of the beginning. And now we're going to increase in the next stitch. So make the first single crochet, and then insert your hook in there again and make the second single crochet. Now make 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and again increase in the next. I'm going to speed it up now, but feel free to slow it down if you need to, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. So I'm working into the final stitch now, which is going to be an increase. And as always, we're going to ignore the slip stitch and chain 1. Once you're done, do a quick count of the round and make sure you have 24 single crochets. And we're going to remove the stitch marker from the first one and make a slip stitch in it. And then chain 1 to get ready for the next round. For rounds 4, 5, and 6, so 3 rounds total, all we're doing is working 1 single crochet into every stitch around. I'll get this one started with you, and then I'll show you how each round looks at the end. Let's make our first single crochet. Pop your stitch marker in there, and continue working a single crochet in every stitch, and I'll see you at the end. This is the end of round 4. Here's how round 5 looks. And the final one, round 6. Round 7, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a decrease in the next, which means we're going to turn 2 stitches into 1. So let's make our first single crochet, and then we'll learn how to decrease. For the decrease, instead of inserting our hook under both loops, we're going to insert it under only the front loop, the loop that's closer to you. And then we're going to insert our hook into the front loop of the next stitch. Now you can yarn over and pull it back through both of the loops. And then just finish the single crochet as normal. Yarn over again and pull through both loops on your hook. Now make one single crochet in the next stitch. And if you're confused about which one is the next stitch after the decrease, it's the one that's completely untouched and you can see both loops of it very clearly. And now it's time to do another decrease. Insert your hook under the front loop of the first one, then insert your hook under the front loop of the next one, and finish as normal. Yarn over and pull it through. Yarn over and pull through both loops. I'm going to speed it up now, but go ahead and repeat this 6 more times and I'll meet you at the end. So you should now have 16 single crochets, and as always, you need to slip stitch to the first and chain 1. Great job, guys. Now we're going to insert the eyes. So take your stitch marker and place it in the loop on your hook. We're doing this so that our project doesn't accidentally unravel. You should have 2 eyes and 2 backings for them. Position the head so that the slip stitches are all in the back, and then grab one of the eyes and we want to find rounds 4 and 5. So starting at the circle on top, that's round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and insert one of the eyes off to the side, right between the rows and right between the stitches. And then we want to have 4 to 5 stitches in between the eyes. So once that's placed, grab your second eye and we need to count 4 to 5 stitches. Make sure you can clearly see 4 to 5 stitches and adjust as necessary. And now just give it a look over, look from all angles and make sure that they're centered properly. And once you're happy with them, take one of the backings and place it on the back. You should feel it kind of click into place. And once you're done, you can place the backing on the other eye. And here's how it's looking now. Super cute, but before we move on, we need to stuff the head. So grab your stuffing and we're gonna firmly stuff the head. Start by placing it at the bottom and then try and line the walls before placing the stuffing in the middle. Check it out from all angles to see if there are any spots that look deflated and stuff accordingly. You also don't want to put too much stuffing in it because it can cause your stitches to stretch out and show the inside. Once you're happy with it, do a little squeeze test just to make sure it keeps its shape, and then we'll do the last round. Round 8. To finish the head, all we're going to do is decrease, decrease, decrease all the way around. So insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch, and then insert your hook under the front loop of the next stitch. Yarn over and pull it back through. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Place your stitch marker in there and then continue by making 7 more decreases. I'm going to speed this up now, but I'll meet you at the end to finish this. Great job. You should now have 8 stitches, and when you're done, finish with a slip stitch and chain 1 as always, and then we're going to fasten off. So grab your scissors and we want to cut the yarn, leaving a long tail that we're going to use to close this hole as well as sew this to the body later. Perfect. And now use your hook to pull the yarn up and through the chain one, and then give the yarn a little tug to tighten and secure the knot. Before we close this hole, I'm just going to put a little more stuffing in here, but if you're happy with yours, then you don't have to worry about this. Now grab your tapestry needle and thread the end of the yarn through it. I like to put the end next to the hole and use my finger to kind of rub it through. To close this hole, we're going to insert the needle through the front loop of all 8 stitches. So find the first stitch. You might have to kind of shimmy the knot to the side to find it. Then insert it under the front loop only, going from the outside to the inside or away from you. And that's our first one done. Now insert your needle under the front loop of the next one. That's the second one done, and keep going through all 8. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now's the fun part. Pull the yarn, and like magic, the hole is going to tighten and close up. Great job, everyone. And that's all we're doing. We're going to leave this tail to attach the head to the body later. So set this aside, and next we'll crochet the body. This is going to be very similar to the head, so keep your purple yarn out and let's get started. We need to begin by making a magic ring. I'm going to show you my favorite way to make one, but if you're an advanced crocheter, then feel free to make it the traditional way. Take the yarn with your right hand and you want to bring it up between your pointer and middle fingers of your left hand and drape it over your pointer finger. And then use your ring and pinky fingers to hold the working yarn against your palm. Now pinch the tail of the yarn with your middle finger and thumb. Now take the tail and make a loop that goes under the point that you're pinching and re-pinch it. Just like that. And this is our magic ring. Now take your hook and insert it into the ring with your hook facing down. Grab the yarn and bring it through the ring, then twist the hook towards you and up, and chain 1. Great job. Now we're going to make 8 single crochets into the ring. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over again, and pull through both. And don't forget your stitch marker. And now make 7 more single crochets and I'll meet you at the end. Once you've made 8 single crochets, then you can pull the tail to close the ring. And as always, to finish a round, we need to slip stitch to the first one and chain 1. Just like before, we're going to increase, increase, increase all the way around. Make 2 single crochets into every stitch. I'm going to speed up through this and I'll meet you at the end. Great job! You should now have 16 stitches, and as always, we're going to finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. For round 3, we're going to single crochet, increase all the way around. So let's make the first single crochet. Perfect, and now let's increase in the next one. Great job. Now repeat that 7 more times and I'll meet you at the end after making 24 stitches and slip stitching and chaining 1. Now for rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, so 4 rounds total, all we're gonna do is single crochet, single crochet, single crochet all the way around. Super easy. I'll do it off camera and check back in with you at the end of every round so you can compare yours to mine. Here's the end of round 4. Here's round 5. Round 6. And finally, round 7. Now for round 8, we're going to single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease all the way around. So let's make the first single crochet. Perfect, and now let's decrease. Insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch, then insert your hook into the front loop of the next one. Yarn over and pull it through. Yarn over and pull through both loops. I'm speeding this up now, but continue to make a single crochet and decrease 7 more times, and I'll meet you at the end. Awesome, you should have 16 stitches now, and when you're ready, slip stitch to the first and chain 1. And now we're gonna stuff the body. So place the stitch marker on the loop where your hook is so that it doesn't unravel, and then just stuff it the same way we stuffed the head. Easy peasy. When you're done, I'll meet you to make the final round. Round 9, our last round. All we're gonna do is decrease, decrease, decrease all the way around. So let's make the first decrease. Great job, and now make 7 more decreases and I'll meet you to finish it. You should now have 8 stitches and we'll finish with the slip stitch and chain 1 as always. And now grab your scissors and we're gonna cut the yarn. We need a long enough tail to close up this hole, and then use your hook to pull it up through the chain 1 and give it a tug. Then grab your tapestry needle and we're gonna close this the same way we closed the head. We need to insert the needle through all 8 stitches just like before. And there we go. Now pull the yarn to tighten the hole. Perfect. And now we're gonna hide this yarn inside of the body. Now insert your needle into a nearby stitch and bring it back out through another part of the body. It can be the top, side, bottom, it really doesn't matter. You just want it to go through some fluff, which is gonna help secure it. Do that a few more times, inserting your needle into the same space it came out of and bringing it out through an opposite side. Great job. Once you've done it a few times, then you can cut the excess and use your hook or needle to bring it back into the project and hide it away. You did it. Fantastic job, everyone. This is a great stopping point to take a break and rest your hands. And in the next part, we'll make all of the different body parts. Now we're going to make the little ears. So keep your dark purple yarn next to you and let's dive in. To begin, we need to make a slip knot. So take the end of the yarn in your right hand, then wrap it around the pointer finger of your left hand and make a little loop. Slide the loop off your finger and take the tail and bring it to the back like it's splitting the loop in half. Bring the tail through the loop while holding the tail and working yarn until it tightens, and you have your slip knot. Now you can insert the hook and gently tighten it until it fits comfortably around your hook without being too tight. And now we're going to chain 4. Perfect. Now we're going to skip the first chain and we're going to make a slip stitch in the second chain. So insert your hook into the back loop, which looks like the top loop, and make a slip stitch. Awesome. And now we're going to make a double crochet in the next chain. To make a double crochet, we need to begin by yarning over, then insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull it through. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. You should now have 2 loops left on your hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through both loops. Great job. Now in the last chain, we're going to make 1 half double crochet. To make a half double crochet, we need to start by yarning over. Then you can insert the hook into the last back loop, yarn over and pull it through. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through all 3 loops. Good job, everyone. To finish this, we need to chain 1. And then grab your scissors and cut the yarn, leaving a nice long tail that we'll use to attach the ear to the head. When you're done, just pull the hook up and bring the yarn through the chain 1, tug the yarn to tighten the knot, and that's it. Repeat all of that and make 1 more ear, and then we'll move on to the next part. Now we're going to make the main, bigger part of the wings. So keep your dark purple yarn ready and let's do it. To begin, we need to make a slip knot again. So grab the yarn in your right hand and then wrap it around the pointer finger of your left hand. Slide the loop off your finger and take the tail and bring it to the back like it's splitting the loop in half. Bring the tail through the loop while holding the tail and working yarn until it tightens, and you have your slip knot. Now you can insert the hook and gently tighten until it fits comfortably around your hook without being too tight. And now we need to chain 6. Great job. We're going to skip the first 2 chains and make a half double crochet in the third one. So begin by yarning over first, then insert your hook into the chain, yarn over and pull it through, then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. Great job, and don't forget your stitch marker. Now in this next chain, we're going to make a half double crochet increase, which is 2 half double crochets. So begin by yarning over, then insert your hook, yarn over and pull it through, then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. Now we need to make another half double crochet in this chain, so yarn over, then reinsert your hook, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're going to make another half double crochet increase in the next chain, so go ahead and do that. Fantastic, and now we're going to make 1 half double crochet in the very last chain. You should now have 6 stitches, and when you're done, chain 2 and turn your work. Row 2, we're going to begin with 1 half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. So let's go ahead and do that. Now in this next stitch, we're going to make a double crochet increase, which is 2 double crochets. So for a double crochet, we need to start by yarning over, then insert your hook, yarn over and pull it through, Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. Great job. Now let's make 1 more double crochet in this stitch. Yarn over first, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through 2. Now we need to double crochet increase again in the next stitch. So I'll walk you through a double crochet 1 more time. Yarn over first, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Great job. Go ahead and make 1 more double crochet in the same stitch. And now we need to make 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Great job. Now make another double crochet increase in the very last stitch. Perfect job, everyone. You should now have 9 stitches, and when you're done, chain 2 and turn your work. Row 3. We're going to start with a half double crochet decrease, so let's learn how to do that. Start by yarning over. Now insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull it through. Now insert your hook into the next stitch and yarn over and pull it through. You should now have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all of them. That's our half double crochet decrease. Now we need to make another one using the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next one, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over 1 more time and pull through all of the loops. Now to finish, we're going to half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, and ignore the last 2 stitches. So make 1 half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, then chain 2 and turn your work, and I'll meet you there. Row 4, the last row. We're going to half double crochet in the first stitch, so let's go ahead and do that. Great job. Now we're going to slip stitch, so make 1 slip stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. Perfect. To finish, we're going to make a double crochet decrease using the last 2 stitches. So let's learn how. Start by yarning over, then insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull it through. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Perfect. Now yarn over again, then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. And to finish, we're going to yarn over 1 more time, then pull through the remaining loops on the hook. And that's it. Now you can chain 1 and we'll fasten off. Cut the yarn, leaving a long tail, pull it through the chain 1, then give the yarn a tug to secure the knot. Great job, everyone. Repeat all of that and make 1 more wing before moving on. Now for the final dark purple thing, we're going to make the tail. To begin, we need to make a slip knot. So make the little loop, slide it off your finger, and take the tail and bring it to the back. Bring the tail through the loop until it tightens, and now you have your slip knot. Insert your hook in there and gently tighten it until it fits comfortably around your hook. And now chain 2. Easy peasy. Now skip the first chain and make a single crochet in the second chain. Perfect. Now chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to make 1 single crochet in this stitch. There we go. Then chain 1 and turn your work. Now in this stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet, so go ahead and do that. Then a double crochet. Now chain 1, and now make another double crochet in this stitch. Perfect, and now 1 half double crochet in this stitch. Great job, everyone. Now you can chain 1 and we'll fasten off. Cut the yarn, leaving a long tail, then use your hook to pull the yarn up and through the chain 1, give it a tug to secure the knot, and that's it. Set this to the side and we'll get started on the next piece. Now we need the lavender yarn, and we're going to make the inner part of the wing. To begin, we need to make a slip knot, so make the loop on your finger, slide it off, and take the tail and bring it to the back. Bring the tail through the loop until it tightens, and now you have your slip knot. When you're ready, we need to chain 3. We're going to skip the first chain, and then we'll increase, then single crochet. So go ahead and make your increase. Perfect, and now make 1 single crochet in the last chain. You should now have 3 stitches, and when you're done, you can chain 1 and turn your work. Row 2, we're going to single crochet, increase, single crochet. So let's go ahead and make the first single crochet. Now increase in the next stitch. Perfect, and 1 single crochet in the very last stitch. Awesome, you should now have 4 stitches. When you're done, chain 1 and turn your work. Last row, row 3. We're going to single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll meet you at the end. You should still have 4 stitches, and when you're done, chain 1 and we'll fasten off. Cut the yarn, leaving a long tail, pull the yarn up and through the chain 1, then give the yarn a tug to secure the knot. Repeat all of that and make 1 more inner wing, and then we'll crochet the last piece. We're going to make the heart-shaped belly patch now. To begin, we need to make a slip knot again, so make the loop on your finger, slide it off, bring the tail to the back, and pull it through until it tightens. And there's our slip knot. Then, when you're ready, we need to chain 3. We're going to skip the first 2 chains and make all of the stitches in this last chain. So when you're ready, we'll start by making 2 double crochets into this last chain. Perfect, and now we're going to make 2 half double crochets. Chain 1. Awesome, now make 1 double crochet. This is the bottom point of the heart, and we're going to do all of that again, but in reverse. So chain 1. Now make 2 half double crochets. Perfect job. Now make 2 double crochets. Great job. Finish this round by chaining 2 and slip stitching back into the center, then chain 1. We're going to start round 2 by making 1 single crochet in the very first stitch. Perfect. Now increase in the next stitch. Now we're going to single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. So make 8 single crochets, and then I'll meet you for the next step. I'm just finishing the 8th single crochet, and now in this next stitch, we're going to make another increase. Perfect, and now make 1 single crochet in the very last stitch. Great job! Finish this by chaining 1 and slip stitching to the previous slip stitch right above the center. Then chain 1 and we'll fasten off. Cut the yarn, leaving a long tail that we'll use to sew this onto the body. Pull it through the chain 1, then tug the yarn to secure the knot. You're doing such a great job, everyone. This is a perfect time to take a pause and rest your hands, and in the next part, we're going to sew everything together. We're going to start by sewing the head and body together. Thread the end coming from the head, hold them with the head on bottom, and place them on top of each other so that the seams from the slip stitches, all of these little dashes, are lined up with each other. Make sure the last round of the head is touching the first round of the body. Then, once you're ready, insert the needle into the body in round 2 between the slip stitch and first stitch. Then bring it out on the other side of the stitch and pull it through nice and tight. Then go to the head and do the same thing. Insert between the slip stitch and the first stitch in this second round from the bottom and pull it through nice and tight. Now we're going to insert the needle into the body again, insert into the same spot we came out of before, and come out on the other side of the stitch and pull it through. Now back to the head, insert where we came out before, and bring it out on the other side of the stitch. And you're going to continue like that until it's fully attached. Keep sewing stitch by stitch, and I'll meet you at the end to finish. Also, don't forget you can slow this down below if you need to. I'm back at the beginning now, and I'm going around the slip stitch seam on the body. And now we'll go around the slip stitch seam of the head. And now to finish, you're just going to weave the yarn in and out of the body a few times. Then you can trim the excess and hide it away. So cute. Great job, everyone. Now we're going to sew the heart-shaped belly onto the body. Start by pulling the yarn coming from the center of it, and that's going to help close up this hole. Then we'll keep this end hidden between the belly and body, so twist it up so you can't see it from the front. When you're ready, thread your other end and position the heart on the body using the eyes to make sure it's centered, and then we'll start sewing. We need to find the stitch right below this point of the heart. Once you found that stitch, insert into the body and come out on the other side of it, pulling it through nice and tight. Then insert your needle upwards through the first stitch of the heart. Perfect. Then insert going downwards through the next stitch of the heart. Now we'll go back to the body, insert your needle into the space where we came out of previously, and go around the next stitch, following the curve, so just going sideways still. Now we're going to insert the needle upwards through the stitch of the heart that we came out of previously, then down through the next stitch of the heart. And back to the body, insert where we came out of previously and come out on the other side of the stitch, following the curve, so going down and sideways. And keep sewing it just like that. Go up through the previous stitch of the heart and down through the next, then back in the previous space of the body, coming out on the other side of the stitch, following the curve. You can slow this down below if you need to, and I'll meet you at the end to finish it. I'm going down through the last stitch of the heart now, and to finish it, we're just going to weave the yarn in and out of the head and body 2 or 3 times to hide the yarn. And that was it. You're doing such a great job, everyone. Now we're going to sew the tail to the body. We need to begin by taking care of this end. We want it to be up top with the other one. So thread it and then insert it upwards through this loop right next to the knot. Then go through this sideways loop. Then insert it under the knot on top. Great job, everyone. Let's attach this to the body now. Thread your other end, and we're going to insert the needle going around a couple stitches of this last row on the bottom of the body. Make sure it looks centered correctly and adjust as necessary. Then thread the other end and insert it under the same stitches but go in the opposite direction. Now thread either of the ends, it doesn't matter which, and insert it between the 2 stitches that we used before and bring it out in a random nearby spot. Then do the same with the other end. Go in between the stitches and bring it out in the same spot. Now you can double knot these ends together, trim the excess, and hide them inside the body. Adorable! Great job! We'll sew the ears on now. Thread the end that's coming from the outer part of the ear, and we'll figure out where it goes. We want the ears to be around rows 2 to 4. So count and find the 4th row. Then insert your needle there in the middle of the head and bring it out a few stitches over. Make sure you like where it is and bring it forwards or backwards a stitch or two until you're happy. Then you can thread the other end and insert the needle directly above it between rounds 1 and 2. Bring it out going downwards so you're right behind the ear. Now we're going to sew the ear down. Insert the needle downwards through this loop right in the middle of the bottom of the ear. Then go straight down from this point into the body, bringing it out in the same space as the other end. And finish by knotting the ends together, trimming the excess, and hiding them away inside the head. Repeat all of that and attach your second ear before moving on to the next section. Next, we're going to sew the wings together, but first arrange all of the pieces so that they look like this. Long dark purple ends on top, and the lavender pointy part at the bottom, and the flat sides of all of them facing the inside. Once you're ready, grab your leftover dark purple yarn, and we'll use it to sew the wings together. Bring the needle from the back through the bottom wing, right here at this spot where there's a sideways loop between the rows of this inner wing. Make sure you bring through enough yarn to sew around the whole wing. Once you're ready, insert your needle from below through this loop of the inner wing that's right below the sideways dash. Then we'll insert in the middle of this stitch of the outer wing, inserting going away from you. It doesn't really matter where we insert on this outer wing. We just want to make sure that the space we insert through is near our starting point and gets us to the next spot that we want to sew down. Now insert upwards through this stitch right above the sideways dash on the inner wing. Now go back to the outer wing and go down and around the next stitch. Find the next loop of the inner wing to insert through, and just continue like that all the way around. I'm going to speed this up, but you can slow it down below if you need to, and I'll come back at the end to finish it up with you. Actually, I'm popping back in quickly to tell you, once you get to this corner with the yarn end, twist it up and tuck it behind the inner wing. We'll hide both of the ends between the wings to make it nice and easy for us. Carry on sewing and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm back at the beginning and I'll finish by inserting the needle through this stitch that we worked into at the very beginning. Then insert it down in the outer wing through the space where our other end is sticking out. Trim both ends now if you need to, then double knot them. Thread both of the ends that we knotted together, and we're going to hide them between the wings. Insert through a nearby stitch, not the one that they're coming out of, and insert your needle between the wings coming out on the other side of it. Make sure that you can't see it from the front. Then trim the yarn so they're really short and pull them through. Great job! Now let's take care of this other end that's on the outside of the wing. Thread your needle with it. Then insert through a few nearby stitches until you can insert your needle between the wings, and that's where we're going to tuck it away. So once you're ready, trim this and pull it through. So cute, and now we're ready to start sewing. We want them positioned with the remaining yarn ends on top and the pointy part of the wing on the bottom. First, we need to figure out where we want them to be. We want a little bit of this flat rectangular shape showing from the front. And looking from the back, the edge of the wing should be almost in line with the inner part of the ear. Once you're ready, thread your needle and we'll start sewing. Insert your needle into the space right next to our starting point and go downwards, bringing it out on the other side of the stitch. Pull it through nice and tight. Then go through this first loop of the wing, going towards the outside of the body. Then insert back into the body in the space where we came out previously and go downwards around the next stitch. Then go through the next loop of the wing and back down around the next stitch of the body. And now go through this last space on the wing that's right on the corner. Super cute, but a little floppy, and so we're going to sew the front of it now. So go into the body and go around this stitch that's right below the wing. Perfect, and now find a loop at the bottom of the wing to go through. Then go back in the body in the space we just came out of and go upwards around the next stitch. Now go through a loop in the middle of the wing. Now go upwards around the next stitch of the body. And then go through a loop right at the top edge of the wing. Now go back into the body in the space we came out and bring it out upwards on the other side of the stitch, but go sideways too so that we come out a little bit behind the wing. So cute! And now to finish, go back down into the space where we're coming out of and bring it out in a random spot on the back and then leave it there. Sew your other wing on the same way, and when you're finished, bring the end out in this same spot, knot them together, trim the excess, and hide them away. Here's mine with both wings sewn on. So cute, and now we're all done with sewing. Next, we're going to do some embroidering, starting with the claws and mouth. So grab your black yarn, thread it, and we'll get started. We're going to make the left claw, then the mouth, then the right claw. Insert your needle into the bottom of the body and bring it up through the body and heart, right here where the bottom of the V-shaped claw is going to be. Pull the yarn all the way through, leaving a little bit sticking out. Now insert your needle a little above into the side and bring it out straight across the stitch over. Then insert your needle back into the spot at the bottom to complete the V shape and bring it out through the head, and we're going to make the mouth next. This mouth is going to be a straight line right between the eyes. I did a lot of playing around with it and decided that I liked a long mouth better that goes from eye to eye, but this is personal preference. Just make sure it looks centered nicely between the eyes, and then we'll make the second claw. Bring your needle back down through the head and body and bring it out through the heart where you want the bottom point of your next V shape to be. Then just repeat what we did before. Make the outer edge of it first, bringing the needle straight across a little towards the middle. Then insert back into the bottom point of it, bringing it out in the same place as the other end. And finish as we have been, knot them, trim them, and hide them away. Thread your white yarn now and we'll make the fangs. Insert the needle from the top of the head and bring it out in the same space as one end of the mouth. Then insert it one stitch below and over, bringing it out in the same space as the other end of the mouth. There's the first fang done, and now do the same thing. Insert it one stitch below to the side, bringing it out in the same space as our other end. Make sure you're happy with how it looks, then you can knot them, trim them, and hide them inside the head. Our final step, grab your pink yarn and we're going to make the lines inside the ears. Insert your needle through the side of the head, bringing it out in front of the ear between rounds 3 and 4. Make sure you're pulling through enough yarn for this. Then insert your needle downwards through this loop that's going sideways at the top of the ear. Now insert your needle straight down between rounds 2 and 3, bringing it out in front of the other ear between rounds 3 and 4. And do the same thing. Go downwards through this sideways loop right at the top of the ear. Then insert your needle between rounds 2 and 3, bringing it out in the same space as the other end, and finish as normal. And Zuri the Love Bat is officially finished. Thanks so much for joining me to make this. I hope you love yours as much as I love mine, and I'll see you next time. Bye!